Hello and welcome to the tennis. Oh, Canada. Surprises galore in Montreal and Toronto. Arise, Queen Victoria, the Canadian team turning heads at her home event, and Novak's US Open gamble. Djokovic rolls the dice on a shot at a 25th major title. That's all and more with me, Xave Muehlebach. Alongside me today from the sit-down, Matt Trollope across the table. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
It's really good to have you here. You're filling in for young Bree,
I
who's
am.
at home with tonsils the size of tennis balls.
Yeah, very sorry for Bree, but hopefully, doing the right thing, looking after herself.
Absolutely. Keep at home, rest up, and I'm sure I'll make some inappropriate comments throughout this show that she will enjoy. Hopefully the laughter does not hurt. Yeah, exactly. And next to me is the one and only star of the court and queen of TikTok, it's Daria Saville. Welcome back to the show on a different side of the desk.
Thank you, I know.
I like having you there.
Let's not talk why.
No, we won't go into that.
Yeah.
That's fine. But now you've brought it up and now everyone at home or in their car is thinking, why is she sitting there? Purely, she liked the look of the glass. There was a green glass of water on that side of the table and she went, oh, that'll do. But that's why we're here. And across the way, next to Matt, the man with the sharpest mind in tennis, it is Simon Razor Ray. Welcome back, Matt.
Hey, Xave. Thanks for having me back. Good to be here.
It's thrilling to have you here at all times.
You got your computer with stats.
Yeah.
We've got a little
Is
bit
it even
of
on?
We're
Or
looking,
are you just going to make them
I
up?
can attest it is on, and it's looking very fascinating.
very analyticsy. Yeah, Matt will vouch for that. Yeah.
Yes.
So can you, stick with you, Razor. What's a quick highlight from your time at Wimbledon with the Aussie Brigade now that you're back on home turf?
Probably the highlight for me, Xave, was seeing Talia Gibson qualify at Wimbledon and come back in what was a phenomenal match to watch. And there's something about the romance of the qualifying at Wimbledon, being out at Roehampton and found herself in this fantastic tussle against Solana Sierra, who I really rate. I rate Sierra quite highly.
I think she made fourth round
yeah,
as a
that's
lucky
amazing.
loser.
Yeah.
And saved match points and kept at it and just kept persevering. It was one of those moments where you're able to witness reward for effort, incredible reward for effort in real time, and not just in that match, but over an extended period of time. And kind of counted myself lucky to be able to witness what it meant to her and Cody, her coach, and the Australian team on the sidelines there. So that would have been my highlight, seeing Talia qualify for Wimbledon for the first
Absolutely.
time.
Great highlight. Yeah. Now, Matt, you're visiting us from the Sit Down, our sister podcast.
Which is very
Why
timely
have
today.
I never been invited to sit down, by
You
the
have
way?
been on it. We
Really?
interviewed you and Luke.
Oh,
Yeah, you are
Okay.
a guest of the Sit Down, Dasher.
whoops.
That's okay. You can go back and find your episode, relive the
exactly.
moments.
I'm like, no, I have a bunch of people you don't remember you were on it, but that's fine. It was a great chat. I enjoyed it. And so
I kind of thought
Perhaps more than Dash did.
it was the same thing, but
no.
let's just
this
edit
is part of
it.
our podcast.
Let's just
network.
edit
Empire. Because it was, you are right, Dash. The Sit
But
Down.
I'm more welcome here, I feel like, because I've come back here a few times.
Yes.
So, Matt, it is on you.
It was on me because I was sick that day and I did it remotely, and I think Viv was in studio. Yeah. But that is something we are doing. We've been doing it for about 18 months now.
Yeah,
I think.
because it was the Monday episode, essentially,
Yes.
of this podcast.
Yes.
But then we broke them apart to give them their own runway.
Yes.
And so you mentioned that you did an interview with Dasha and your lovely husband, Luke.
Yes, and so we had another duo on today. It
double
was
act.
just this morning, Viv and I chatted to Casper and Christian Ruud, which was great. They were in Cincinnati at their hotel. They're about to start. I mean, Casper, I think, is through. He'll get a bye through to the second round, but he was just at Cincy preparing. So, yeah, we got a chance to chat to both of them.
Wow.
About, yeah.
What
their
was,
unique
was there
journey.
anything juicy in there that maybe people would be quite interested to
There
hear?
were some really interesting things in there. Casper talked a lot about that US Open run where he got to, if he'd beaten Alcaraz in the final, he would have been world number one.
Oh, wow.
And so that was kind of interesting hearing his thoughts about
Only a
that.
minor barrier.
just a little bit to play for. But yeah, that was really cool. And obviously 3 years on, he refers back to that. And with the US Open about to start, that's kind of cool that is kind of top of mind again.
Yeah, so when's that ep going to be out in people's
It'll be
feeds?
on Monday.
Excellent. Well, gang, can we make sure we've got a link to that episode in the description, or at least to the podcast? People can subscribe and get ready for Monday.
Can I get a link with my podcast?
Absolutely. We should definitely put a retrospective
We'll also put
link.
another link in. Yes. Going back to Dasher and Luke's set on the Sit Down.
I just want to make sure.
What did I say?
No, it's there, definitely.
Excellent.
We
Now,
loved it.
Dash, you're back as well. You enjoying being home?
Very much so, yeah.
But what's next? Are you back
well,
on a plane soon?
I am going to New York.
Oh, just your feet
Yes.
never touch the ground.
Yeah, I am going to play US Open.
That's exciting.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Taking the ball and chain / coach.
Well, actually, Luke is helping out James McCabe.
Ah,
So that's his focus. So I'll be on my own. No, but Tennis Australia always looks after us.
they've got your back.
And they definitely got my back.
Great. All right. Well, good luck to you. It's going to be
Praddy?
a blast over there.
Praddy is there. We're actually doing like a little camp in Orlando.
Oh, that's good.
Which was organized, again by Tennis Australia, because there's no tournaments to play the week before qualifying,
Right.
Unless you're in second week of Cincinnati, and so makes it a little bit hard. And I'm coming there early to join the girls in Orlando. And then, Pratt is kind of the coach. We also have a team of a trainer, fitness trainer, Matt Hayes, and Alan Obst. He's the physio. So we're very lucky.
You sound very well equipped.
Very.
Look out, New York.
At USDA as well. So that was
Yeah.
nice of them to let us train there.
Yeah. No, we're all friends in the tennis game behind the scenes.
The Grand Slam family.
Yeah. Oh, it's just so close knit.
All the
Come on, Aussies.
Europeans and Americans that come, anyone who
Yeah.
comes here early are welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that gave me the warm and fuzzies. Well, Dash, we'll stick with you and jump right into what's caught your eye. So, Dash, what caught your
Queen
eye?
Victoria.
Yes, Mboko.
She's been absolutely killing it.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the finals. You just mentioned it's like, she's having the Andreescu moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. But it all started with her going and grinding in Europe in January.
Yep.
Which would have been very miserable.
Yeah.
Very cold. I've played those tournaments in France where you're kind of in the bubble and it's freezing. We complained that NCC is cold, but
Europe's got it covered.
Yeah.
but Europe is freezing.
Yeah.
So she won 4 30K tournaments back to back.
That's huge.
Then she won another 60,000 later on in March in Portugal, I think. And that's when she started getting into the Masters 1000s. And it's incredible that now she's in the final.
Yeah, and taking down Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, why did we all just look at you?
Yeah, it
blankly?
was
That's
like-
exactly what happened.
Yeah, like that was
She didn't-
that was the big story,
Yeah,
I
that
thought.
was well, I guess the biggest story is that she's saved match point to beat Rabaikina to make the final,
Yes.
but her journey along the way,
Yeah.
she beat Coco Gauff. That was the first time I saw Mboko play against Gauff in Miami when she got into the main draw there, and I think she pushed her. Or was it Rome? I thought it was Miami. But anyway, 3 sets. She took Coco to 3 sets somewhere at one of the Masters before the French Open, and Coco said she's definitely one to watch. She pushed me really, really hard. And just the fact that she's come along in such leaps and bounds so quickly. I think her live ranking's around 30 in the world or something. So
Yeah, wow. Well, she's on track to
Yeah, I
be
think
above
she's on the-
25.
yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. And that's what was she, when you said she was in those, bubble tournaments in Europe, she was outside the top 300. then, I think.
300, yes.
Yeah.
Started at 333.
Yeah. So just
And-
her rise is
And
extraordinary.
I'm also impressed that I think she would have been a little bit, felt a bit of a letdown with Wimbledon. She lost in the final round against Priscilla Hahn, which we're proud of, but Priscilla has
Yeah,
qualified. But Priscilla saved a few match points there. So pretty cool that she was able to bounce back and perform like that at home.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Dash makes a great point too. When you go back to the European lower level events, it's a long way from the Australian Open and Melbourne in January.
Yeah.
And I've always felt like one of the toughest things to do in our sport is to win a title, back up the next week and go deep again, let alone doing that 4 weeks in a row. I think that's a real marker along the way that if you can do that, it's so often you see, and Dash will vouch for this,
Yeah.
you'll see a player win one week and exit early the following week because the rigors of the sport
Just
are
through
such that,
fatigue or-
Yeah, there's fatigue, there's travel normally, and then there's the next hungry opponent waiting to kind of claim your scalp the next week. So I think it really speaks for development when you're able to put repeat quality performances together, or perhaps it's not how well you can play, but how poorly you can play. And when your lower level is improving and enabling you to go back to back to back to back deep at events like Dash has described in January, I think it's a really key milestone along the way to good things are ahead.
Yeah,
always
not to
felt
mention
that.
you're freezing your ass off in Europe, and every time you look at tennis Instagram, everyone's having an
Not to
Australian
mention-
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, what am I doing? But it's kind of cool as well. You kind of develop a little bit or get that confidence kind of off the radar. You kind of probably slipping under the radar, and that is cool
Yeah.
to accumulate that momentum.
True, 'cause all eyes are
all
south
eyes
of
are
the
here,
equator.
and so you can. Yeah, it's kind of like you're almost long term
You
plotting the
gotta do
result
it. You
later.
gotta serve your time.
Yeah.
Well, let's
yeah.
have a quick little jump into the time machine. Razor Ray, you had a few thoughts on Mboko earlier in the year. I think we've got a little clip from an episode of the Tennis in Feb.
Victoria Mboko. There's another, I think, young player on the rise. So I watched her play Paula Badosa out there in Miami.
Right.
Now, she doesn't hold back on the ball. Just put a little asterisk next to her name, okay? She's got some power and some weapons off both wings. She came within a point or two of knocking off Paula Badosa. We've spoken about Ayala a little bit already. We've spoken about Fonseca. So just adding Victoria Mboko is one to keep
There
an
you
eye
go. Okay, first question first. Next week's Powerball numbers are... Come on, hit me.
Well,
Very good prediction. Very good
Yeah,
foresight.
I just wish every
but you
prediction...
have reasons for your ideas and thoughts. Talk us through it.
Well, I wished every prediction aged as well as that one has. Look, I think, Dash has made a great point about the ability to string repeat victories together at the lower rungs of the game. And then you watched her play, or I watched her play in Miami, and the weapons leapt off the court at you, literally, in terms of the heat she brings, not just on first serve, but on second serve.
Yeah.
Her both serves are a legitimate weapon for her. She's got a great team around her. Natalie Tauson and the Tennis Canada Federation are supporting her really strongly. I just felt like there's a physicality about her that's so impressive. It just felt like a player that to me wasn't going to miss. And sure enough, what are we, 3 or 4, 5 months down the track, and she's on the verge of being seated at Grand Slam time. So
Yeah.
She will be at US Open now.
She probably
Like, I mean,
would be. I'm
she's
not sure
probably
exactly
got
what.
nothing to defend.
Yeah.
And even if she doesn't quite get it there through Canada, all it would take is a couple of wins in Cincinnati if she can do that, and it would
Yeah.
confirm it. But
Yeah.
definitely
She's
on the cusp.
probably, she would have been in qualis in Cincinnati. I don't know what happens there if should be getting a special
imagine.
exam. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah,
I
there's-
should know the
yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
That's right. You do the
Pending.
other stuff
We shall
better.
see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, looking at Canadian women's tennis, like Eugenie's just retired, but is this now a second era, another coming of the Canadians?
They've had an amazing run in the last 10 years. I mean, I think Mboko even talked about when Eugenie retired that she was a player she looked up to and kind of was, Eugenie was that first Canadian female player for years to do something huge on the international stage that was just over 10 years ago. And so, yeah, Mboko would have been, 7 or 8? So she would have
Yeah.
been, probably just starting her tennis journey and watching that. And she did say that was inspiring to her. And then since then, there's been obviously Andreescu, Fernandez, and now Mboko. Every couple of years, there's a Canadian that comes up and establishes themselves. They've got a great pipeline. So, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, Matt, I'm going to stick with you. Like, amazing effort from Mboko. Congratulations. So, Matt, in Montreal, what's caught your eye? Take us through it.
Yes, it's the other side of the draw. It's
Yes.
Clara Tauson.
Uh-huh.
So she's always been on a lot of our radar, particularly here because she was a junior champion at the AO and she beat Fernandez in the final in 2019. And then I remember she beat in that COVID French Open that got moved. She beat Jennifer Brady in the first round just after Brady had made like the US Open semis, and that was a huge win. She was only 17, but then, COVID, she had lots of injuries and kind of went off the radar, but we always knew how good she could be. And so she has since gotten through to the semis of the Canadian Open. She's beaten Iga Swiatek and Madison Keys back-to-back, which is incredible. They're both reigning major champions. That's huge.
Yeah.
She also beat Sabalenka early in the year. She also beat Rybakina at Wimbledon. Like, she's had these huge big-name notable wins. And I just think, I never forget a conversation I had with Nicole Pratt 2 years ago at the French Open, and I was talking to her about something else, and she talked about being on the practice courts and kind of, I can't remember who she was working with at the time or who she was looking at, but Andreeva caught her eye, but she also mentioned Tauson, and she just said that ball striking blew her mind, and she reckoned it was as big as Sabalenka, but like technically better. And she's like, if she can get it together and stay injury-free, watch out. And so I've never forgotten that conversation. I've always just kind of kept an eye on Tauson, and a year or two later, that is coming to fruition. We knew she could do it, and it is all coming together.
Yeah.
So
She actually also has a good feel. Like she
Yeah.
can hit a few drop shots.
Very
It
skillful.
might
Yeah.
it might not look like a Roger Federer, but she knows where to hit them and
Yeah.
when.
And very good on the, like, underrated on the defense. Like, against Swiatek, Swiatek can really spread the court and move. And that's always been the thing on Tauson, right?
Yeah.
Get her moving because she's such a great ball striker, not the best mover. A better mover than you'd think. Like, slides
She's
on the hard
improved,
court,
yeah.
really improved that. Would always get a racket to balls and, like, loft it, and it would drop just on the baseline. Like, she had that great feel, and she could reset points really well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and seems to be able to soak up
And
opponents'
she would
pace.
anticipate well,
Yeah.
which
So-
is huge.
So we're still at the time of taping. We don't have an outcome yet of
She's
her
just
semi-final.
stepping on court against Osaka now.
So hopefully-
TBC.
Yes, this is going to be, exactly what she needs to get her across the line. Played in her speakers,
Yeah.
in her headphones. But it'll be very interesting to see an outcome. But I think everything you've said is incredibly relevant, regardless of that semi-final. But looking at, she's number 19 in the world right now.
Live ranking of 15th now. I
Huge.
just checked, but that's massive.
Yeah.
Because this at the start of the year, she was 50th. And then this is really interesting. She won Auckland and she played Osaka in the final, but Osaka got injured with an ab. So we never actually saw how it would have played out. But even making the finals
Yeah,
big,
Osaka
Yeah.
won the first set.
Osaka won the
and
first set.
Yeah, and then
Pulled
went
out.
out with an injury.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like right now
This is the rematch.
we're getting it. It's the
Yeah.
rematch.
Mm.
And
So, yeah.
she's the number one Danish player in the world.
Yep.
So is it time for her to be kind of on the tips of people's tongues when we're discussing the big guns of women's tennis?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
More people should, if you're going to be beating Swiatek, Sabalenka, Keys and doing it on big stage, you're going to get noticed.
Yeah.
And she's already starting to do her best results at slams as well. So 3rd round Australian, 3rd round French, 4th round Wimbledon. This is her best season at the majors. So, when you're starting to make second weeks of majors, that's when the most people are watching. So
Yeah.
the US Open will be fascinating.
And she's got fear factor. And I think, again, Dash makes a great point because she's able to complement we spoke about weapons before with Mboko. And this woman's got serious weapons. Again, on first serve, on second serve, off the ground. There's very few players on tour that are doing more damage on the ball than Tauson. And she's able to complement some of those weapons that she's got in her arsenal with some of the softer skills, which is
Yeah.
so important and such a great skill to have when you're backing your opponent up off the baseline and you're bringing that fear factor to the court, and then you're able to identify and execute into the space with some of the more nuanced or some of the finesse.
And then
that she
busting out
possesses.
some of that incredible accuracy that you were
Yeah.
talking about, Matt.
Yeah.
That is a
That's the
pretty
package.
powerful game.
Yeah.
So
And-
complete.
And Matt makes a great point as well. I think the way you start the season, so you're 50 at the year-end rankings, 50 in the world at the year-end rankings last year. You come out and you go deep in Auckland, where you claim the title in Auckland. You jump on a plane after the Australian Open, you go to Linz, you make the semi-finals, and then in the Middle Eastern swing, you make the final in Dubai and lose to Mira
we've
and
got
Xave.
it. Yeah, which
So
is where she beat Sabalenka.
there's
right.
momentum, right? And all of a sudden, you've gone from 50 to I haven't checked the week by week rankings, but you find yourself probably around mid-30s in the world, maybe
Yep.
nearly seeded for the French at that point in time. And there's your momentum. And she's built further on that as the years progress.
The big Mo.
Yeah.
Got to have that.
Yeah.
It's a call back to the West Wing. But
Someone
anyway.
needs to fact check me, but pretty sure
Nah, let's
her,
just go
her
rogue. Say it
boyfriend
as
is
fact.
is the coach too now,
Oh,
since like the beginning of the year,
Ah.
or maybe even last year.
Love all. Casper
There you
Ellsvard
go.
just came to me like a voice from on high. Yeah. No, very good. All right. Well, Razor, we've spoken about Clara and the match she's currently playing at the time of recording, but her opponent, Naomi Osaka, apparently she's caught your eye and her form. Take us through the numbers.
Yeah, well, I've just been really taken by the numbers, but as well the emotional story here, or the change in coach, so the splitting with Muratoglu post Wimbledon, and then doesn't hesitate. There was no messing around there to pick up Wiktorowski, so Iga Swiatek's previous coach.
Wow.
And these are I think the fine margins that we so often see in elite sport. So she finds herself against early rounds, maybe second round in Montreal against Ludmila Samsonova, who they were 2-2 coming in. And in fact, I'd watched a match they played in Berlin on the grass just a couple of months ago, where Samsonova prevailed over Osaka in a tight battle. So this is, fine margins, not much in this contest. She finds a way past her, 3 in the third. And since then, she's started to steamroll. She's gathered, and it's that momentum
Yep.
word again.
That big mo.
She's gone past Ostapenko 2-4. She's given up one game over Sevastova, and she's beaten Svitolina 2-2. I mean, those are that's one-way traffic. And a signs there that she's back to her best. And I was having a look at the data, and I was probably surprised, and Dash perhaps would have been less surprised than I was. The player on serve that is number one on tour in terms of first serve points won is Naomi Osaka. over the last 52 weeks.
Wow.
So when she lands her first serve in play, nobody wins more points in behind that first serve than Naomi Osaka. I would have had Sabalenka up there. I might have had Goff up there. I might have
Keys.
had Keys up there.
Rybakina.
You know, those are the
Yeah.
players that probably jump off the page. So I was surprised to see that. Is she gettable at times on the second serve? Yes. The second serve doesn't pack the same punch as, say, a Clara Tauson. So I'm interested as to how that match
Is that a fear
playing
thing? Like
out.
just wanting to get it across and in the correct box? Like what's...
I think it's more, it's a technical thing and a tactical thing. Tauson's
Right.
prepared to maybe serve some double faults on second serve, and
Yep.
at the same time, she's looking for free points. You know, she's bringing the fear factor or the threat on her second serve as well. Naomi's prepared to be a little bit more conservative on her second serve and back her ground strokes. So that was one thing that jumped off the page at me. Number one on tour for first serve points won, which means
That's
gonna-
What's
massive.
the
it's gonna be-
percentage?
You
What
put me
are
on the spot
No,
there.
here we
I
go.
have to
We'll cut out this
say-
bit and you'll just be like, boom, 28.
Boom.
I'll be.
Hopefully it's not
gosh,
28.
You're going to need some creative editing. Let me come back to you.
Well, so Simon, are we looking at basically the best version of Osaka once again?
Well, I think it's pretty close to it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think all of a sudden, I don't think, and when you track back over time, this is the first time since 2022 she's going to find herself in the semis or better of a 1,000 level event. And I actually think her momentum's been building. It hasn't been disastrous. It still takes a hell of an effort to beat this woman. And these are the fine margins, right? So this is where I'm looking at that Samsonova contest in Montreal, and I'm going, well, maybe that's the moment. Maybe that's the time when the pendulum swung the other way. And she's going to build on that. She finds herself in a semi-final right now as we sit here. And who knows what the ceiling is this week. Springboards into Cincinnati, springboards into the US Open where we know she's played great before. And all of a sudden it's a different conversation again.
Yeah.
So that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah. And speaking
She's
of...
definitely thinking of US Open because in one of her interviews, she's
I
like,
heard
well,
that.
I might be a seed for the US Open now.
Well, she was kind of
So-
putting a few things out even this morning or yesterday about just her outfit choices
Yes.
for the US. She's like,
Yes.
keep your eyes peeled. Like she
Yes.
is ready for every facet of the next big step in the Grand Slam
Yeah,
calendar.
I heard that interview too. She said she's talked about tracking her seeding for US Open and that her outfit it crushes it or something like that. She said some
Yeah.
words to that effect, like my outfit's lit or something like that at
Yeah.
the US Open.
A few seeded players would be happy that Naomi is finally a seed because
Yes.
she's actually had like really tough first round draws
Yeah.
since
Yep.
her comeback.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. All right. Well, thank you very much for your insights, Razor. Any chance you found that
74% as
Wow,
compared
that's
to...
very high.
So
And
three,
who is second?
second on tour, this is going right through Rybakina, who you mentioned, I think, Matt. So
Yeah.
she's just behind at 73.
Okay.
And some of the other suspects, the likes of Coco Gauff, she's at 70.
Yeah.
Badosa's at nearly 70. Qinwen Zheng's up there at nearly 70. So she's just got that little margin or that little edge
Yeah.
on the rest of the field.
Very good. So Powerball next week is 70. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, from your predictions, great. All right, well, what caught my eye? Let me tell you, Novak Djokovic. Yeah, the GOAT. So he's withdrawn from Cincinnati for the second straight year, which means he pulled out for a non-medical reason. You know, it's fine. He has his reasons, I'm sure. He's going to go into the US Open without any hard court match play. So his
Just
last
like
match.
me. In qualies, though.
Yeah, but that's okay. But I don't think he's got
You're in good company, Dash.
a governing body
I
supporting
think he's
him
won
in
just
Florida.
a few more matches than I have this year, though.
But his last match was playing Sinner at Wimbledon on the turf. So it just, as a lay tennis fan, like I'm not the big brains at the table that I have around me, but it's kind of bonkers. So how is he going to pull this off? I want a data approach. I want an insight, an insider approach, and a player approach. Go.
You start, Dasha, because it's the same. It's the same lead up as you.
Well, mine is also for non-medical reasons.
Is it too long to go without playing matches?
Well
going into a
put.
slam?
I would say so. Honestly, yes. I was actually hoping to play an event before, but I've changed my mind a million times of where I was at with my mental health, and then it was kind of I've decided that I want to go to US Open is because I feel like I have a bit of FOMO. And I am excited, like it is a Grand Slam. So I feel like it would be a letdown, and I would then sit here at home in Melbourne and feel like, oh, I should have gone.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have any regrets. but I think Novak has mentioned that he wants to shorten his season. Like he wants to play less. And I mean, Serena did that a few times. And people, like players do it after Wimbledon, after French Open, where they maybe don't play any warm-up events before Wimbledon, but not before US Open.
And he's got some big things on the line. So is he resting up because he wants to be as ready as he can because he wants that 25th Grand Slam?
I think he actually wants to try it this way maybe.
Yeah. I think that's right. And I think it's hard to knock, the change in approach from the perspective of you're looking at an athlete that's prepared to do whatever he can to give himself the ultimate chance at claiming one more title, one more Grand Slam
title. Because it will
be
record breaking.
That's right. And I think it's the equation. It's energy in versus energy out. I think it's as simple as that. And the energy in that Dash is describing is normally time on match court, victories under the belt, momentum, progress, confidence, which is earned through action. Confidence is not something you can't go to the supermarket and buy confidence off the shelf. You've got to get to work and get going. So I think it's to be applauded that he's trying something different again. He's prepared to go in there maybe slightly underdone from a physical perspective because he's thinking, I need every ounce of energy available at the back end of that fortnight. We know it's hot and humid there in New York. We know it's a physical test over 5 sets. He's just going to go in there fresh and he's going to back himself to find a way, perhaps through some difficult moments in the opening week, and back himself to get there with a little bit more in the tank deep in the event against the likes of Sinner and Alcaraz.
And I mean, I think this in my mind whenever a player takes, a period off, they're not sitting by the pool wolfing down club sandwiches.
No.
Exactly.
Like they're still on the court every day. Yes. They're just not competing at that level.
Sabalenka did mention in the interview she had 1 week off where she only did like a stair workout in her, she said flip-flops.
Yeah. Hey, got her to where she is. Yeah. There you go. Put your flip-flops on. Get on the Stairmaster.
But also players do what they know. I agree with you, Simon. They do what they know works for them. Djokovic is a bit like Serena in that he can come into slams and kind of hit the ground running or even use those first couple of rounds to find a bit of form. He'll also be super, I would imagine, targeted and specific about what he does on the practice court in terms of like practice sets, getting ready. Like this is not his first slam. He knows because he said at Wimbledon that he needs, an injury or that kind of wear and tear on his body at this age affects him deep in Grand Slams in the 5-set format. Which we've seen.
And if we think about it, 6 weeks off is not that much. No. And that's not 6 week off like what we're saying. He probably had a week off where he actually just put his feet up and didn't do much. But then you build back. It's not that big of
he's essentially kind of revving his engine up, ready to hit the start line.
And I feel like he's done it
US
before
Open.
where he hasn't played that many matches and then came in fresh. Yeah. And that was because he was healing an injury and then won a Grand Slam.
I like it. It's challenging status quo. It's a different approach. He's earned the right more than any other player in men's tennis anyway. I like it. Trying something different.
I genuinely think 25 is within reach. That's pretty exciting.
This is the slam that it is the most, historically, it's been the most open. It's less hoarded by 1 or 2 players. Like there's a bigger range of champions at the US Open.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Unlike, so
everyone is so
fried.
I think
because everyone's fried, and Djokovic is not going to be fried because he's played so
he's been wolfing club sandwiches by the pool.
But just comparatively less matches. But not no matches. I mean, he's gone deep at every slam.
Yes.
There's plenty of matches in the tank, but he hasn't pounded his body and played like 50. So it could work out great.
Time to rip up the record books. All right, let's do a little bit of a gear shift from the Joker to a demon. Simon, talk me through little Alex de Minaur. I say a little. He's probably taller than me. He's just
he's actually very tall.
Yeah, he's very
I don't know
slight.
why he looks
Little Alex, and then he's like, what do you want? I'm like, oh shit. All right, so quarterfinals at Toronto.
Yeah,
give us some form analysis of Mr. de Minaur.
Well, I think before you look at any of the numbers, I think one of the things the thing that's jumping off the page in terms of impressing me so much over the last month or so post Wimbledon has just been this refreshed mental approach and the energy, the zest for the contest. He's up for the fight again. So we saw a demon in Paris, if we track back to May, that it wasn't the typical demon. Just watching him play their early
I was very
rounds.
surprised watching him play against Bublik.
There was frustration there towards the team. And you heard him give voice to that afterwards. I haven't felt like myself. The grind's getting me down. Even into the grass court swing. Lost early, I think, in Queens. Didn't play the typical grass court schedule. Went into Wimbledon underdone by his own admission. Again, kind of just on the fence, it felt like, as to where his head was at Wimbledon, which is, the hallowed grounds, and has been for him. He holds it in such high esteem. So to see him in Washington and see some of the feats, match point down against Davidovich Fokina in the final, and he gave voice to it post-match, just that desperation, that ability to scratch and claw and find a way out of some nearly impossible situations. And more importantly than all of that, to reflect on the match or the week post-event and say, I'm loving the battle again. I'm engaged in this. I'm bringing my best tennis. I'm okay with whether that's going to either get me there or whether I'm coming up a little bit short. I'm enjoying the fight again. And Dasha knows how important that is, particularly when you're Alex de Minaur. It's his competitive advantage, that and his physicality. So to see that back again bubbling to the surface, I think it's hard to underestimate how important that is.
And I think I can kind of relate to that, the fight where I'm like, I'm not sure I've got that fight in me right now. And you actually can't push it. Like, it's really hard for me to like fabricate it. Like, I know you can, like you try your hardest, but it just doesn't, when it doesn't come naturally, that's when you get frustrated. But that's when you get frustrated with your team or because, it kind of makes you sad that you're like, I am here competing, but it's not easy for me. Like the easiest thing for Demon is to compete. Because he's such a fighter.
What he does best.
But when it's that hard, it's like he can't enjoy much tennis. And it kind of feels the same for me. Like I don't enjoy tennis when I find it hard to compete.
And I think, as you say, you can't manufacture that. And, we've seen so many examples, particularly in Australia, of athletes stepping away and taking a break and coming back all the better for it in terms of that energy and that zest and that love for the competition and the fight returning. So I think that's what Dash is touching on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think one of the exciting things about Demon now looking at the numbers a little bit, is there's more upside there. So when you have a look at his serving numbers, we know he's not one of the overwhelmingly bigger, more powerful guys or servers on tour. Not him, not his MO, never going to be. I would argue, though, that given unreturned first serve or serving a bunch of aces is not going to be his one wood. I would argue first serve percentage is an important characteristic of his game because it's going to enable him, if not to be on the front foot, not to be on the back foot. So I would argue serving a high percentage of first serves is a pretty important metric for him. If we have a look in the match against Shelton, landed 53% of his first serves. The ATP Tour average is 63%. Then let's come back a little bit further. Against Tiafoe, landed 42%.
Wow.
Against Komisana, landed 43%. And against Davidovich Fokina, landed 58%. So all of those first serve percentage numbers are well under the ATP Tour average. Now, he's getting by because he's fighting and he's scrapping and he's clawing and he's...
So Dash and I had a quick look of like, hang on, just trying to work out beautiful
I thought
minding
you
it.
mentioned that the ATP app averages it
ATP
out
Tour
to like...
average. Yeah.
But yeah, gotcha.
Tour average 60. The
Then
average
the penny
ATP
dropped
player
over
lands
here.
63% of their first serves in play. He's been down at, what did I say, 53, 42, 43 and 58.
His
getting
serve
by.
percentage has been down.
Yeah.
But I think that's because he's trying to hit his serve bigger. Remember at AO, like he was even mentioning it in interviews that, I've hit, or it was actually United Cup that he was really going after his serves, But
I would argue, just looking at the
he's
numbers,
sacrificing percentage for
Percentage.
speed,
And I
which
think
is that
there's
balance you
upside
were
there.
talking about.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
saying
But
I think
it's
there's upside.
essentially risk taking.
Yes.
By putting more juice behind it, it might not be as accurate, but it might have a better outcome if you do manage to get in the box.
Maybe, or I'm saying I think a little bit more safety, a little bit more margin, and a healthier number from a first serves and play perspective takes some heat off on his second serve, and we know what he's doing on return.
Yeah.
He's the second best returner on tour
There you
behind
go.
only one player,
Alcaraz.
Jannik Sinner.
Oh, I got it right.
Second best returner on tour. So we know what he's doing on the return game. We know how lethal he is there. If he can find another 5 or 10% of efficiency in his service game, I think that's only upside heading to New York.
I have no numbers to back this up, but watching him in
My
Washington.
favourite kind of fact.
Yeah, but it was just.
Here's something I think.
He charged the net so much more.
Oh, here we go.
It
Good.
felt not serving and volleying, but finished so many
Yeah.
points
Yeah.
at the net. And
He
I know
volleyed
he's
well.
always
That's
he's always
his-
volleyed well, but he seemed to be coming to net
Playing a more aggressive brand. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
Agree with
great.
that.
Like had a lot of success with that, and quicker courts, you can take advantage of that. But it was phenomenal all court tennis. I really liked
Which
it.
sometimes goes hand in glove with mentality. When you're
Yeah.
enjoying the fight, when you're prepared to bring your best and the big moment arrives, sometimes that I think it's impossible to deny the link between mentality and tactically
Yeah.
the options that you're
Yeah.
choosing in big moments.
Do you think, surely they've spoken with the team about his serve percentages?
I'm
Do you
sure,
think
I'm
he's
sure.
like just being stubborn?
Well, you're a
and
part
he's
of that
like,
team,
I
aren't you?
wanna
Well-
hit
Not really?
biggest serve. Like I still want to go after
I
my
think it'd be
first serve.
fascinating to be a fly on the wall, And when we're dealing more through Matt Reed, who does some weeks with him, when
Yep.
we're dealing with the team, it's more about looking at the next opponent.
Yeah, okay.
And what to expect and what are they bringing to the table and how can we nullify that or take away some of the strengths that they bring to the table. But I'm sure those conversations are going on for sure, and it'd be
I
interesting
wonder
to
if
know.
it's like stubbornness or
Well, tennis players are so
it's
stubborn.
like
Yeah.
wi-
Yeah.
you get
All
like
tennis players.
fixated that
All
I
of
need
them.
I need to get
I'm looking
my
for more 3 points. Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm not deviating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you for that insight. That was pretty incredible. Before we head off to Cincinnati, should we wrap up all things Canadian Open?
Yes.
Obviously, we've still got some things to reveal themselves. But first questions first. How has, on the men's side, the absence of the likes of Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic kind of impacted that side of the draw?
It's created heaps of opportunities for other players that are still there
Opportunity.
and thereabouts,
Yep.
but it's their. Suddenly, Zverev and Fritz become the favourites,
Yep.
whereas previously it would always be Sinner or Alcaraz, and maybe you'd expect Fritz and Zverev to get into the quarters or the semis. And it hasn't hurt either. And then that comes with an extra pressure. Zverev's the top seed, Fritz is the second seed.
Yep.
So, and they're playing up to their seedings. They're both in the semi-finals and
Yeah.
and playing well. So I think it's really cool to see kind of a bit of a preview of who will challenge Sinner and Alcaraz and Djokovic as well at the Slams, because they're the three leading players at the Slams, and it might just be that little kick of confidence they need going into a Slam if a Masters title's under their belt versus having made the quarters or semis of a
Yeah.
Masters. But
Once
they
again-
played to their seedings.
The big Mo.
Yeah, the big Mo. You
Gotta
need
have a big Mo.
momentum.
Yeah.
Also interesting to see Khachanov into the semifinals.
Yeah,
as
sneaky
well.
11th seed.
Always there.
Yeah.
So consistent.
Speaking of stubborn tennis players.
Yeah, but like
is
such
very
a quality
consistent.
player and so consistent. Yeah. So, yeah, I just think that opportunity that opens up. Shelton's another one too.
Yep.
Wants to be firing, particularly this time of year. North American hard courts, this is where, this is his time
Yeah,
to shine.
about to go into his home slam.
home slam. And he was great against De Minaur.
Yeah.
All his weapons kind of came together. So, yeah, it's just really, it's cool to see the rest of the, Alcaraz and Sinner take up so much of the conversation because they're the leading players at the majors.
Yes.
And it's really cool to see the rest of the quality that might not get the same spotlight in weeks like this.
Yeah, definitely. Dash, takeaways from the Montreal WTA?
Honestly, I do find it hard to and disappointing the 2-week events. And it's so annoying to check the scores, and the first score I check is like a doubles result, and I'm like, wow, okay.
There hasn't
They've
even
had,
been
like,
any singles when
they've
we wake
had
up.
2 matches,
Yeah.
and today it was like only 1 match done, and
Yeah.
I was like so excited to check the scores. So it feels like forever. So I feel like the matches that I was excited about were like a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. That is something that we get as Australians. That is a habit I'm in. You're probably in it too. I wake up, have coffee, check the app, and you see the scores that have happened overnight while
Yeah.
you've been asleep. But there haven't
you're like,
been.
wow.
Yeah, it's like, cool,
There haven't
nothing
been
yet.
results
That's an upset.
overnight. They're all. It's basically a nighttime tournament in singles now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, quick predictions. Who's going to win the men's and women's?
Maybe, Osaka.
Okay.
I'm
Osaka.
gonna call
Same for me.
Osaka.
Yeah. Okay. And the men? Go on. Say Khachanov.
Catching up. Fritz?
I think Fritz is going to win.
Fritz,
the men's.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about the women's because obviously
Moritz
I've
is
just picked
there
up
to
Tauson
support
in all of
him.
my
Yeah,
talking.
exactly.
And she's great and lots can happen. Naomi's the credentialed one. But I mean, Mboko, home fine. There's just, the women's is really hard to
Yeah.
pick. That was me saying nothing.
Yeah, fair enough. Well said of nothingness.
Do you have a pick,
Razor?
Simon?
Who's winning?
Well, mine's just hanging by a thread at the moment.
Yeah.
Sort of as we speak. I would still say Zverev. I think
Okay.
he might take the title, but he's going to be lucky to make it to the final the way he's in an absolute arm wrestle with Khachanov at the moment.
Right, very good. All right, I'm just going to take a stab. Tauson and Shelton. I'm going to back your girl, even if you won't.
Oh,
Love it.
Yeah, Tauson.
There you go.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're
It's
going
still
along.
the same tournament.
We've got plenty to talk about after the break. We're going to have a quick little break here. Coming up more with us here at the tennis, Logie's success. If you're international, don't worry, I'll explain what that means. And of course, the best part of this week and every week, Ace of the Week. See you in a sec. All right, welcome back to more of the tennis. Some big news down under in the TV world. Now, our Logie Awards, kind of like the Australian Emmys, the awards for the best and most popular and amazing efforts in TV. Friends, plural, of the podcast, Jelena Dokic and Todd Woodbridge, both took out a win.
Yeah.
So young Mr. Woodbridge, he was awarded the Bert Newton Award for Most Popular Presenter, Paris 2024 Olympic Games, Paralympic Games 2025 Australian Open, and Tipping Point, the game show that people watch apparently.
It is crazy to me when I go, like, might be coming home from work and you're walking through streets and sometimes you'll see people's like TVs.
Are you
Todd
that
is on
person
People
that-
watch Tipping Point. It is on. I see Todd's face on TVs all the
Yeah,
time.
we barely
I bet.
see the
'Cause
bastard
it's
in the
on after
office.
Work, 5:30 or something? Always. Todd's everywhere.
Yeah. Teddy
amazing.
everywhere. No, well done, Todd. And Jelena Dokic for her best factual or documentary program, Unbreakable, the Jelena Dokic story. So amazing film, amazing woman, amazing story, and now got an award for it.
And an amazing speech at the Logies. That was one of the
Yes,
things
that
that
was
talked
very
about. Her
good.
speech was inspiring, and she also shouted out to Todd for believing in her and being a bit of a television mentor for her
That's
in
true.
her post career. So that was really lovely.
And I think we've got a little clip from the wonders that is Instagram of these two after the awards, hopefully before they hit the piss.
Who won the Logie?
Nope, I was wrong.
Woo! Together! Wow!
What a night.
Oh my God!
Doesn't get much better than this, to be honest. This will sit nicely on the mantle.
I know. He said to me, "You're winning." I said to him, "He's winning today," and we were kind of joking, but it's happened.
And your speech goes down as the longest 30 seconds that the Logies has ever had. But it was worth it. Thank you.
Listen, for TV, what did they say? It's better that you can talk than not talk. So, hey.
Very, very well said. No, great speech, and well done to the both of them. Got to love the Logies, got to love a bit of tennis. Yeah, okay, well, let's jump ahead to my favourite thing of every week, Ace of the Week. Who wants to go first? The Black Pen decided, Razor.
My ace of the week would be how good are community volunteers? So I'm probably thinking about my
They're the best.
6-year-old son.
And you've already got him out there.
And his weekly soccer training on a Wednesday night last night. And, the coach's son was sick, so he wasn't there, but that didn't stop the coach rocking up every Wednesday night and every Sunday morning. And my boy Charlie, he's loving his soccer, weekly training and a game on Sunday morning. And it all runs at Geelong Rangers there from volunteer coaches and parents that chip in. So probably my gratitude, my first thought went there.
That's brilliant. Volunteers, they keep so many things working and moving. Unsung heroes. So let's sing them.
Absolutely.
Well
And my
done.
boy's
That was a
loving his
brilliant one.
experience through it.
I think that's one of my favourites so far.
Yeah.
Mine is so much more basic than that. I was going to
I
talk
was
about a
like,
recipe.
Matt's just like, I
was
absolutely
like,
hate
wow.
volunteers. They're in the way.
No, it was more about because definitely Brie and I share a lot of recipes, and so much more food and cooking recipes is on social now. So you'll see something on a TikTok or a reel.
Good chat.
And one that came across my algorithm was a tiramisalata pasta. So it's if you got leftover tiramisalata dip, how to use it in a pasta dish. No, trust me, it was great.
And you don't like tiramisalata?
I love it
I was
with
going
the
to say.
dip, but not with hot pasta.
Well, but it was
No.
it genuinely was awesome. So it was basically like a tomato-based prawn garlic pasta, and you finish it off with some tiramisalata. So that
And
was
so you
great.
kind of use it sort of like a finishing cream.
Pasta is already cooked with its
and you
own
finish it off, and it kind of thickens and makes the sauce saltier.
I
I
thought
think Dasha
it
was thinking you put the tiramisalata in the
and-
microwave
and
you put that on.
No. It was more like I think
This isn't
only
like Ega's strawberry pasta.
Yeah, I was
No,
like,
a bit
no
different.
way.
But yeah, and Bree's often sharing recipes with me, so I,
So you
returned
tried
the favour.
it?
I tried it; was great, and got a big batch out of it. And the reason it came into my head is I found a frozen portion last night in the freezer, polished it off. It was brilliant. Bree's
Oh,
got the
I
recipe.
thought
Next
you're
time,
you're
try it.
bringing it for us.
Yeah, so
to try.
here's the taste test.
Here it is. No, I ate it all,
No,
but
ate it
it
all.
was highly recommend.
Very good. All right.
Nice one.
Dash, what's your ace of the week?
Well, I was lucky to have experienced the Mecca Burke Street
Yes.
opening.
So there's a brand new flagship Mecca shop.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's
like
insane.
3-4 levels and
Oh my God, it was crazy. And
Did you get a lot of free
Joe is the
Yep,
CEO.
the CEO.
She's
Friend of the pod.
she's my hero.
Yeah.
Like, can't believe the little mecca that she had built in South. Well, she didn't build it, but started in South Yarra.
Yeah.
And
now it's global.
And now it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Any
amazing.
freebies last night?
Yeah.
Or just stuff you neglected to pay for?
Maybe.
Just filling your
maybe.
pockets up.
Well, I don't know if I can reveal.
Okay. All right. Well, if the loss prevention officer at Mecca Melbourne needs any advice, I can just give you Dash's number. No, well done. That is a good one. Yes.
Pretty cool. So, yeah,
quite a few
it's
people
cool.
last
It
night. A lot
would
of
be good to check it
influencers.
out.
And in the heart of Melbourne, right? Burke Street
Yes.
Mall. Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, free
The
plug for
old,
Mecca. They're doing well out of us,
Was it
aren't they?
David Jones menswear building?
Yep.
Yeah.
Vale DJs. All right. My
Yourself,
ace of the
Save?
week.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well thrown, Razor.
Thank you.
So I was thinking long and hard about how to appropriately celebrate something quite meaningful and large, and I thought Ace of the Week on the podcast would be the perfect way to do it. This week, according to my records, only a couple of days ago, we are celebrating 10 years at Tennis Australia of Jonathan Hoovenars.
Whoa. Wow.
He has been here for a full decade. So for those at home, long-time listeners, John was the host of the AO show and for a time the tennis. He's now our senior producer for all podcasts. He's got new ones that are coming up. He's done everything from helping out with the Leighton Hewitt documentary. He's travelled to Darwin for the NITC Carnival. He's been to Brisbane and Perth and around the world. He's been our man on the ground in Wimbledon. He's done a lot. He's done it all, and there's more to come. So I just wanted to take my ass of the week to congratulate John
John.
Hoovenars.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
And we started at the same time. Well, I started a little bit late. So feel free to congratulate me in a couple of weeks'
Next
time.
week?
Yeah, go. No, but well done, John. You're a crucial member of the team, and we're thrilled to have you. That is it for the tennis for another week. We wholeheartedly wish all the best for Bree. Hope she gets better soon so she can be back on the mic. But I've got to say, as far as fill-ins go, you three, fantastic. So thank you very much.
Sure,
Best of
that's
the
a
rest.
Absolutely.
backhanded compliment.
You're not the ones we wanted, but we all do. No, that was fun. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was good.
Heaps that you can do. We've mentioned some stuff in the episode notes below, so feel free to click on those, check them out. Harper and Andy will have some info after the break, but we'll see you in a week. Enjoy tennis.
Hey everyone, Harps and Andy here. Just want to remind you that you can watch every episode of The Tennis on our YouTube channel, Australian Open TV.
And we have an email as well, podcast@tennis.com.au. If you thought the show was amazing or you thought it was terrible, we are keen to hear from you. We'll read it. So feedback, comments, whatever it is, get in touch with us at our email and we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you later.